Hello everybody, and welcome back. I'm Count Christo, and this is the Once More with Feeling campaign in Hearts of Iron 4. The wolves are at our door. The Red Menace has begun their first major offensive of the war, and I am concerned. Organization has been poor. I'm no longer streaming, by the way, if you're wondering about the last episode, based on the fact that I was in the last episode. We've got okay supply now on this front, which is good. In fact, we've got good enough supply that I should send in these extra mountaineers with some urgency to get them out of this area where they're suffering attrition. After I ended the previous episode, I tagged to the Soviets because I was just curious about knowing a few things. And they have more... Sorry, the music has been historically too loud. I apologize for this. I'm working on it. I will try and make sure we don't have me being drowned out again. Okay, the Soviets have as many medium tanks as I have light tanks, which is terrifying. So we're going to do a few things. First off, we're going to need to address some industry stuff. So, for example, I bet we're overproducing... Well, first off, we're likely to lose ground on the Eastern Front, I think. So maybe we should cut back on the infrastructure projects. But we'll take it back again, so... I don't know. We also, I think, want a bunch of munitions factories for extra division defense and attack and stuff. Anyway, oh, that's probably... I was wondering, why do the Soviets have such a large attack bonus? I bet it's because they have a decent amount of equipment factories. That's part of it. That's part of it right there. Okay. But yes, first off, industry. Oh, God. I'm already clearing my throat. I thought I was going to be able to record a bunch today because I've been feeling fine. We'll see. We'll see. So which is this? This is submachine guns. Well, it's just the basic infantry equipment. Is that it? That's early war infantry, yeah. We're probably overproducing on that. Or I may have already cut down on that. We only got 60,000, 36,000 spare. That's not that good, actually. Field uniforms we have a lot of, though. So I could cut back on that. Let's seriously cut back on field uniforms. And what has that been cranking up the production of? Just infantry equipment lower down on the list. Right. So I would like... We've got 10 spare factories. I suppose for now... I should put it towards light tanks. Is light tanks the deficit on deploying more panzer divisions? Yeah. I guess... Well, actually, we also have a huge fighter problem. So why don't we upgrade the fighters? Like that. There we go. You can go to 0 on this. No, you can't. Why did it let me go to 0 for a second there? Anyway, so put more on fighters. Okay, we had a couple of allied invasions that were swiftly thrown back into the sea in the last episode, so we must stand ready for more of those potentially going forwards. But of course the main concern is the Eastern Front. Now we could stabilize the North a lot if we could break them here. First off, slow down time a lot. Next up, this airbase is obviously not sustainable. It's because people retreated from here. So how about... Certainly the good fighters could perhaps fly from here. The rest of you are just going to have to... Well, I'll probably fly back to here as well, but I don't know if they're going to be have even slightly enough range. Now, they're just putting huge numbers of fighters here because they've got large air bases in the region. Are we going to be able to break them here? Possibly. Got reinforcements defending here. Okay, now, lower on the front... We're holding okay down here. There's a big reorganization going on right now because a new infantry army has joined the front. If we lose this campaign, by the way, like, I'm not that upset. It's been a long time since I've lost a campaign, and I'm not intrinsically opposed to the idea. You guys, I would like to hold this tile, but I don't think it's worth throwing lives at right now. Alright, you guys are moving where you should. What front line are you on? The correct one. Okay. Some of you move down here then instead of moving this guy down. Here, 5 of my guys and we can't hold the line. Despite it really looking like we should be able to, given our much higher stats. That is surprising. I really don't want to lose that tile, because these guys aren't actually flying right now. Let's get some more... Right, we haven't got our close air support in the air right now. That is a big deal. And we also have a bunch of spare planes here. So let's make sure we have all of these guys in the air flying. I guess we were saving fuel here while operating mostly in the south, you guys. I mean, that range is just abysmal. Let's get them flying from here instead. Okay, who are here? Anyone here have decent range? Not really. And these guys need splitting up. Oops, that was not a smart way to do that. Oh well. Do it the long way, that's fine. Okay, yeah, looks good. So, you guys are all fighters. I'd love another 200 fighters here. I guess 200 from here. 2 wings, that is, from here. Got room here. Yeah, 1 more here. You can fly in there. And then... I mean, maybe we fall back here. Like, that's not a huge loss, is it? If we fell back behind Odessa onto this river, it would make the air zone substantially more defensible. And it wouldn't lose us much in the way of factories. I think one thing we should do to help with the organization on this front is give up on using the big battle plan. And do it army by army instead. Where are you guys? Right, you're my extra reinforcing army. So you're probably going to be here. But you guys are the ones in the south. Yeah. Okay, let's have these guys... I mean, we're losing 1 airbase here. Maybe we do something a bit odd. Like we go here and then here. Thing is, we have a river in the south. It's just that I've lost a few positions on it, which I don't think I can swiftly retake. So let's... I mean, how good is the fort here? There is a level 5 fort here, even though it is damaged. And here and here. So perhaps we try and fall back, keeping those forts. And then retaining up here. Yeah, I think that looks right there. And the next guy is just going to stay on the front line, I think. I don't want to fall back all the way to this river here. This area is relatively defensible. Okay, but we don't want to overextend this army like that. So come to here. Yeah, that looks right. Okay, and there's your attack plan. And then next army up is my new reinforcing army, which is 4 oversized. So 4 of you just... a bit tricky to... There we go, there's a button on the other side, isn't there? Yeah. 4 of you just come up here for a moment. No, just 4 of you. There we go. Go over here. And the rest of you can hop back in middle here. Okay, so you guys are going to move in and try and hold this wooded area here. Good. Supply-wise, I mean, there are problems, but they're not disastrous in this region. Here they're disastrous, because we've got these extra guys coming in, but we'll be able to sort that. So the next army is going to overlap 1-to-1, basically. So we probably just... maybe this defensive army instead... like, takes up a backup position. But I can't have him take up much of the backup position because it's in the same supply zone. So maybe he comes down here in anticipation of perhaps us having to retreat down there later. And then we'll see how the supply balances out. Because I'd rather have the supply being used by the planes and the tanks. But you... which of these is your order? Or are those both... What? Is that right? Yes, there we go. Okay. And you guys are in the right place. Good. Rundstedt can have 4 more. So why don't we give him 4 of these guys? See if we're still okay on supply after that. Get in here. Good. Now, further north, we have this guy, and he's controlling this whole northern section. Well, he obviously needs to be divided into two armies. One which attempts to stall these guys, and one that's facilitating the attacks up here. And the rest should be trying to force these guys out here. Now, I can't believe that their supply isn't being damaged yet, because I've been devastating their convoys in the region. But we'll keep working on that. Okay. Yeah, those guys moving in is correct. So you guys, you're getting a hole here. So you guys need to stand up slightly. The tanks need to help me plug that hole. And we need to get some planes over Latvia. So, my new spare, not my new, but my spare planes down here. Give me a significant close air support wing over Latvia from here. And then do we have any long-range fighters? We've got a couple. Give me the 2 long-range fighters. Let's see if they can do anything from here. And we will get some bonuses here. Extra tanks moving in here is good. I think he should stay put. Basically, I just want to slow my retreat here. What's supply like over here? Oh, that line is in the same supply. That's terrible. Okay, half of those guys I sent south. Have them come up here. Ready to move forward to the Riga river line, if necessary, if this line collapses. Okay. And completely forget offensive air operations into Novgorod, for God's sake. You guys should all be flying here. Well, yeah, we can't let the center collapse, so let's keep them flying there. You guys should be flying here. But these are the guys moving out, right? Yes, good. If we could take that air base, we'd be in a lot of a better place. Okay, let's unpause. I mean, this is a big problem. I don't feel like I have the tanks to stop it, because we need to prevent this implosion. Let's fall back from here. Yeah, this front line needs shifting. How about we try and hold them in the woods? So you guys fall back, move back, and the tanks, same deal. Hold this line instead. Can I get them on the other one? Oh, here, I'll just do this. Hold that line. Oh, that's my front door. I will be right back. Sorry about that. Sorted now. Just a delivery. Okay. So we've got tanks desperately moving into defensive positions here. And this one, I think, we're going to have to spare to try and stall the Axis advance. Sorry, the Communist advance in the north. Okay. See how we do there. With the new planes here, we're looking pretty good. If we could finish off this pocket of resistance in the north before everything falls apart in the south, I'll be really happy. Admiral Raider has been fired. Okay, so we want to replace Raider with Donitz, which gives less capital ship attack and more submarine attack, but removes exactly the same thing. Brilliant. I'm so glad that that event was included. My experience would have been just terribly diminished had that event not been in the game. Alright, let's get him in there. Him in there. I know not everyone's like me and doesn't care about historical events. I'm not saying everyone should not care about that event. I'm just saying I don't care about that event. Alright, retreat in that direction. Good new defensive line here. That's a bit of a problem. If you'd like to plug that gap, please. Let's have some of these guys retreat from this position. Oh, they're already not being under attack anymore. And they're falling back from there. Well, would it be possible to re-secure this tile? By any chance? I'd love that. If you want to come and give me some assistance in that regard. Falling back from here is fine. It looks like they are trying to capitalize on me being pushed back from here. Hopefully, I'll be able to bring in these reinforcements fast enough. No, you should still be on this line. There we go. Okay. Now, immediate counter-offensive after they just failed an attack here, perhaps? Not superb. And they are reinforcing here. Hold that, hold that. In the base game, you can hold after like 2 hours. In this mod, it seems like it takes a lot longer before you're allowed to hold, which I really don't like. Why is it taking you 7 hours? Lack of fuel, yeah. And bad infrastructure and, you know, terrible supply. Fair enough, honestly. Okay, but elsewhere on the front, yeah, this is definitely a problem. Whose army are you part of? Rundsted's. Get up there, then. I know there's bad supply. That's just a reality we're all having to deal with right now. This tank deployment should go slightly wider. Where are these tanks? There's one here. Where are the others? Dotted around, but just not quite on the front. Even though they're in the supply zone. Who's this? Guderian? You're fired for being a moron. Put the men on the front. You just standing there. No, he's defending at least. And those two are defending. Good. Now in the south, withdrawal is in full effect. Let's be slightly more sane in our pullbacks, shall we? That looks good. That looks good. Okay. Now, why are you standing around like headless chickens? Because you've not got an order. Okay, that's fine. They're just about holding there. There's no huge reason to hold this tile. It can be attacked from 3 directions. So let's fall back from here. This tile I would really like to stand. So why don't we throw a tank in, try and retake that tile. Well, it's not desperate if we hold this one, because Brest-Litovsk is of course the capital of it, so we can still build infrastructure here, even if that one falls. Yeah, this is going to be a real problem. 2 tank divisions and a motorized are going to be absolute murder to try and push out here. And they're immediately heading south. We have got 2 good divisions coming up to stop them. Let's add another one to that. Yep, and they did manage to reinforce here before I could crush in. How about a fresh attack on the port? We have only got it defended by 1 guy, but we're so slow they're going to be able to move from here into the port. I'll give it a go though. Got to venture with a chance. Okay. Holding here for now. Situation here improving. One of you can stop. 2 of you actually can stop and go back this way. These guys can be the ones that actually take the tile. Being driven back here. Just a bit of a disaster. But we've got a fort tile behind it, so it's not too terrible. That tank did get in there in time, but he's immediately being pierced by the enemy tanks. And he can't pierce them in return, so that's a real problem. You guys just retreat. I'm fairly happy with this new defensive line. I think that looks good. What we'll do, obviously, is we'll try and stabilize these. Well, maybe not, obviously. You see, this is a real problem. Is we'll try and stabilize these new defensive lines. More guys arriving, but they're all on low supply. It's just possible that we can crush them out of this pocket before we have to withdraw. Obviously, this guy's vulnerable to encirclement. Oh, and that guy, because he's retreating in the wrong direction. Yeah, that's a problem. They've got a lot of freaking tank divisions in here. and I just don't have the supply to you know, respond in kind. Come on, it's just possible that we can drive them out of this port. It's not looking likely, though. Okay, perhaps we give up on this northern offensive. God, our casualty count has rocketed up lately. Alright, you guys. Yeah, the time's come. Let's fall back. Suitably dramatic music playing. We're going to pull all these guys back to this river line. And then what we'll do once we establish a defensive river line is we'll attempt to do local small tank encirclements, basically. Okay, you guys also need to pull back. Maybe we'll use the tanks to try and hold the line while we retreat. Okay, get out of there. He's getting out of there. We may lose a couple encircled in the north. It's not the end of the world. We did manage to sink a large number of these guys as they tried to retreat, at least. I think. So that's good. Okay, re-establishing a nice front line here. Ideally, I wouldn't be holding this tile at all, actually. It does give me control of a state, but it's a plains tile, so... yeah, why don't we just abandon that tile entirely? I am absolutely fine with that. None of you guys walking into the tile? No, good. Okay, we did manage to get this guy here, at least for a second. If you could hold. Hold, please. Hold. Hello? I wish you could just issue this order immediately. Okay, hold there for a second. You stop that attack. We're going to try and get this guy out. He's got a shot. He's definitely got a shot. 5 hours. Oh, it's real close. It's real close. But he got out. Okay, yeah, now you can both. You're not allowed to retreat here. But you are, though, is the thing is that you are. Thank you. I mean, they're doing it automatically anyway. You keep holding that tile for a second. Stay on that front line. Okay. Oh, and these guys need to hold as well. All you guys, just stay put for a second. Need this line not to break until these guys have got out. Good organized retreat so far. I'm liking that. Always a fan of a good orderly retreat. Okay. You guys getting out? Yeah, looks like it. We just didn't quite have the supply to finish off that encirclement, which would have been great, because I bet there's like at least 200,000 men jammed in that pocket. Down here, things are stabilizing in the south. Our control over the air zone is helping. Unfortunate that the thing there is in the next one along. So this... yes, I'd rather actually be one tile further back, just so we're not in the western Ukraine air zone. But, I mean, what are you going to do? So we'll do something like this. So we're actually flying over both zones. Here, we have way too many fighters. I guess some of you guys retreated from somewhere. Well, the absolute experts need a base. I guess it's time to start flying over Lithuania. Considering we're about to have that be one of the front lines. You close air support. Let's have you do the same thing here. I want to keep some people flying over the north here. Here has become overstacked by one. One fighter can fall back to here. Now this one, is this getting sorted out? Well, not nearly enough of them are leaving. 2, 3, 4, 5. Leaving 5. Well, one can go here. I guess 3 can go here. This zone is active. The rest, let's have them hold. Go to Warsaw. Give it a few days to see how the air zones shake out. Pulling back there. You guys all pull back. All pull back. Okay, you guys can now pull back another tile. Good. Looks like we're going to get them all out. And then once we're back on this front line, we'll see what we can do about stabilizing supply. I feel like if we had stable supply, we'd have a stable front line. The debuffs we're getting from supply are, well, not huge in some of these fights, actually. Let's have you two both get yourselves in here. Don't want to lose that tile. It's a nice forest we should be able to hold. Give me the extra missions there. You can stop running extra missions here. You guys actually, yeah, while you're not under attack, you can multi-halt now, but you can't multi-strategic redeploy. It's annoying. We are now out of manpower. Well, yeah. Military police. Going to be increasingly not an issue as we lose ground. So let's cancel a bunch of them. Okay, should hold us for a little while. Why are you retreating in that direction, my man? It's interesting. I'll leave these guys in place. I mean, do I want to try and keep this offensive position? Well, let's try. Let's try and hold this offensive position in the forest and see if it's remotely doable. And because of that, these guys need to pull back a bit further to allow us to utilize all the supply in this region on the right kind of people. Good. Supplies, we've only got 137 days left on fuel, which is worrying, don't get me wrong. Perhaps it's time for some infrastructure investments down here and here. Try and get a bit more oil out of that. Allies not presenting a challenge on this front yet. That's good. Okay. These guys. Now join them in the mass fallback. Good. We'll take out those two. So we didn't lose any actual divisions, I don't think, in this loss. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and hold something like this and see if that's defensible, because I like fighting over Latvia. So we'll fall you back another tile. Yeah, we'll try and hold that, because then we're keeping this airbase. I'd like to keep this one, but I want to keep the fighting in Latvia. We will keep control over this state, because we still got Riga, which allows us to conduct infrastructure repairs there. Speaking of infrastructure repairs there, give me a bit of mass infrastructure repair, please. Good. Now, it's been a few days. Let's take a look at the air zones. I don't want to be seeing overstacked air bases basically anywhere. Can you fly to Latvia? Maybe. Maybe. Okay, no overstacked air bases that I'm seeing. Understacked? We could put a few more here. Got any long range fleet people? Yeah, some of these guys are pretty good. Lots of these guys, actually. Pretty good range. Let's throw 1, 2, 3, 4 of them in here. Still can't quite reach there. Could just put a little bit of pressure on here. Another 200 in from here. You're going to need a mission. Okay, might need to start rounding up civilian petrol soon. Some of these guys still retreating in the wrong damn direction. Let's slow them down. Okay. Let's see. Looking okay down here. Actually holding that airbase just by having forgotten to redeploy the tanks properly. No, the tanks can take up positions, very similar positions, like this. Good. And stabilizing on the front mostly. Here, launching an attack that's unnecessary. Blocking into the right places. Do we have a... got a supply depot coming here. Nodrisk. is a priority, and vidsimi is a priority. Also finish those radars. Okay, I'm going to call it a part here. I'm so annoyed. I thought my voice was recovered enough to record. Apparently not. So, sorry about that. It won't make much difference to you, of course, because all these videos will start coming out when I have a few queued up in a backlog so I can release daily. But I guess what that means is that you're going to be seeing this a few days later than I expected. Unfortunate. I will see you in the next one. Wish me luck. Do you reckon I can do it? Place your bets. I was very overconfident when this offensive first began, which, of course, you know, was very historical of me. And perhaps I'm going to get my comeuppance. Perhaps the Soviets will crush me. Place your bets. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.